There's an opportunity here to be involved in something that will not only enhance but change and disrupt the real estate business into the future.
You know, you have investments that come from sponsors that have a good quality track record. You also have a track record on the investments themselves going in there. You know, that's a piece you don't get when you're investing in real estate. You're always looking at performance. In this case, you're actually looking at actual performance on each one of these deals coming into the fund. That's a huge advantage and allows us also to get the right value for that investment compared to what they may have paid for it in the first place, good or bad.
The ability to continually reinvest. Our business model has a way to develop that deal flow.
The diversification's exponentially more because I get the diversification within the sponsor, but now I'm invested incrementally on liquidity events that I provided across multiple sponsors in multiple jurisdictions in multiple towns and cities.
Correct. So you've got little small pieces over the whole spectrum.
We couldn't have possibly known 2 years ago that this was going to happen, that there was going to be a war in the Ukraine. So now we have this situation, these properties cannot refinance, but because the net operating income is there, the performance is there, if a pref equity piece comes in, then there's enough liquidity for us to roll over into a perm loan. So the property goes from bleeding cash every day, even though its net operating income is running above pro forma simply because of interest rates, pref equity comes in from Fundication, and boom, the next day the property is cash flowing. That couldn't have happened in the last 10 years. So the opportunity just exists right now. We're talking maybe 10,000 performing properties that can benefit from this. So that service is an absolute godsend for the industry.
A good investor is just constantly looking at how do I de-risk an investment.
There's no question you guys are filling a need in the market on all different levels. It'll be nice to be able to offer the liquidity to our investor base. And on the sponsor side, when we're getting close to the closing, and if there is a gap that's there that's needed, the assurance that it's there and it's available.
I mean, let's call it what it is. We have a current LP investor. They want us to give them the money back. Walk us through how PREIshare is going to help solve that.
Because it's going to force to be adoptive. Disruptive change in any mechanisms or systems comes not because people wanted it. Maybe it's a better mousetrap, but they were forced to it. And a lot of changes come about that way.
As an operator, we all know there's a big problem there. It's one of the biggest feedback that we get from investors, right? And then, how liquid is it? What does it look like, et cetera?
The infrastructure that you guys are putting into the program, it's a really unique opportunity for sponsors.
It was an awesome process. The people are amazing. The best part is PREIshare fills a spot in the syndication community that just doesn't exist for some reason.
I want to thank you guys for the service that you're providing to both your investors and to your syndicators.
It's a real opportunity for sponsors and operators like me.
This has got to be the most investor-friendly structure. You can decide if you want to take your principal back, gains back, or distributions on returns. Short cycle investing. Now, this is one we've never seen in real estate before. Usually that's a 5 to 10 year period.
It's just a big loss for us, that final $1 or $2 million for a project. So top off is just a brilliant strategy.
You'll get better real-time intelligence. Market system will be able to provide that.
Actually, wouldn't just be an estimate of what the value is, it'll be a real number.
Market-driven number to the moment.
To me, I think like I'm getting 3 out of 10 investors, and that 70% that I'm missing is simply because they are afraid of lock-in.
Remember, this is not real estate, it's a security. And there is no broker-dealer involved in this, a customer-to-customer, investor-to-investor transaction.
I think the vision that you guys have put together is going to create a better, more accountable industry to our investors, give them access to liquidity, give them the ability to move in and out of projects more transparently. I think that this is a step to eventually the level of liquidity that we see in the US stock market.
For all this to work, though, there's got to be a secondary market, and that's what's been missing.
And somebody could do that for them, so it was seamless to them.